Hi everyone, it's Sue here from Scrappy Doo Sue. Hope everyone's doing okay. I'm going to start a new project today and I'm going to call it The 4 Seasons of Edith Holden, or Edith Holden 4 Seasons. And what I'm doing, I'm going to make a file folio for each of the seasons, and I'm using her Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, which I have been cutting up. I have to say, I haven't completely dismantled it, but as you may or may not know, this is one of the most popular books going. I have ordered another one actually, and it's a bit daunting at first to know what, because there's some beautiful pictures, but obviously you're limited when you make a file folio, and I'm making mine out of envelopes. You are kind of limited on size, so you have to kind of look at the pictures and see what the best picture you can get out of them. And often they're, you know, they've got something on the other side of the page. So this is a favorite picture of all time. This is a foxglove. It doesn't have anything on the other side, but there are one or two, or I may have even used them up by now, that might, you know, have something on the other side. So you kind of have to make that decision of perhaps using one picture one time and then maybe getting another book if you're lucky. So for instance, this middle spread is lovely here, but it also has some nice flowers on that side. What does it have on there? And it has kind of some images there. I love this one with the bees. Anyway, that's the book I'm using as inspiration, and it's all going to come out of one of those books. So so what I've done is I've made a prototype, and this is the winter one. This is the Winterfell Folio. It doesn't have any ephemera in it yet. I haven't made any, so just checking I'm in camera. So I made this out of 3 envelopes, and my envelopes were 7 2/10 inches times 5 1/4, that way. I was inspired to make this out of 3 envelopes by Jane at Inky Studio, who I believe saw it on the Book Vandal Dawn's page. So mine's kind of an interpretation of Jane at Inky Studio. So I just wanted to do, I'm just going to roll my sleeves up, get ready for action and show you what I've done so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series on making the file folios, and then I'm going to use my Let's Make Ephemera sort of ongoing series that's starts and stops and starts and stops throughout the year to make the ephemera. I thought that would be the best thing, and then I'm not overloading myself, because you know it's difficult juggling work, home life and crafting, as you all know, I'm sure. So this is what we've got. So we've made an envelope journal folio with a flap closure here, and the flap is from the envelope. So what I've done is I've put this lovely ribbon. It's not vintage, but I loved the colours, thought they were quite wintry, around it. So I've put a little used my crocodile and put one of those. Now what do they call these? I'm never sure what they're called. Have I got anything with one in? I don't think I have. It's not a brad, is it? Eyelet. I think it's an eyelet. Anyway, I've used a crocodile and put an eyelet in here, just like this. I don't know if you can see it. So, and I've covered the eyelet with a circle. So anyway, let's get started. So these were 3 envelopes that I bought from Julie at CameliaCraftsDesigns out of her Etsy shop. Very strong craft envelopes, and you can see the colour of them there. So I used 3, and they all had this shaped flap here. Okay, so all you're doing is you're taking one envelope and you're it's difficult for me to explain without the envelopes to hand. Let me think. Have I just hold on? Okay, so I haven't got any more of that size craft envelope, but you can make them with any size envelope, any type of envelope that you've got. So let's do a prototype out of this. I will probably coffee dye or tea dye these at some point. So I just wanted to show you a quick flip through, and then I'll show you the basics of how I made this particular one. So we've got a pocket here that we're going to put a nice journal card in, and I've put an extra tuck pocket here made out of a die cut from Violet Duran, who I buy from on her eBay shop. Then in the middle here you've got a separate journal, which again is made out of Edith Holden papers, and I've also used her cookery notes book, and so this has just a mixture of papers, and it's actually secured. What I've done is I've done the 3 pamphlet stitch on it, sewn in the signature, but then it's actually attached through this elastic that goes around the spine here, so that when that journal or notebook is used up, whoever has this, can take that out and even fit another one in. I've made it quite loose so that they can fit more than one in if they wanted to, and that's got some crochet trim on it. So that has got a hard cover which is matted with Edith Holden winter designs, and inside I've strengthened that envelope inside with some more Edith Holden paper. So the Edith Holden winter season for the UK, so I'm going by the Northern Hemisphere, is kind of beginning of December to the end of March. So those are the papers I've used out of the book. So we have this lovely ploughing design here, and then we have this lovely one which is the front cover. So it opens like this. So this is the front cover with the blue tits and the great tits on, and you open it out like this, and you've got your journal in there, and you've got a journal card spot there and something for a nice tag. Then you flip that over and you've got another pocket here for a journal card. Then I've put an envelope flip in, and that's got some December paper on, and I've also strengthened the inside of that, and I'll probably strengthen the underside of that envelope, and that's going to have a nice journal card in it. Then we turn it over like this, and we've got this waterfall effect that Jane at Inky Studios made. So I've copied her. I thought I'd try it and make one. So you put the cord or whatever you're using down here as a tie, before you stick your matted piece down, you put that behind. So I'm repeating this lovely crochet trim in various places. So you lift these up, and these are all journaling spots. So here we go, like this. Okay, hope you can see that. And journaling spot, and because I've used paper for mine, kind of journaling paper, I didn't make a side tuck, but Jane did. She used thicker paper and she made a side tuck here, but I didn't. So that's stuck down, and then I've made a button closure here, and the whole piece is out of one picture from the book of the catkins. That goes round there like so. So that's a nice little added piece, and we turn it over like so, and we've got 2 little envelopes on the back that we're going to make some journal cards for. I've already stenciled the background, put some fussy cuts from the book on there, some more crochet trim, and here I've made a triple pocket for tags, so you've got 3 there, and then behind that you've got another tuck for a journal card like so, and that's the back. So it's very simple. It's not as fussy as some folios, but I just liked it. So it's made, as I say, and I have to remember how to fold it. Yes, that's it. So it's made with 3 envelopes. So I'll just show you the principle behind that, because I wanted to make one up ready. Well, it's not completely finished, as I say. We've got to make the ephemera for it, but I just wanted to make one prototype to show you. So I've put winter on there, that's taken out of the book, and I've put this on here which just says journal, and I've just put it on some fibre and some material here on the background, and that's the back of it like so. And this ribbon is repeated down the spines here and here. So I was quite happy with that one. I like the way you can see the spines. Okay, so let me just show you how Jane at Inky Owl. So we're going to just use these as an example because I don't have any more envelopes the same size as this at the moment. I have ordered some more from Julie at CameliaCraftsDesigns. So that, say for instance we wanted to make one this size, and you know, I wouldn't normally use white envelopes, I would probably dye these. So just pretend they're dyed. These happen to be 6 6/16 of an inch wide by 9 inches tall, and they again have got the square cut flap. The envelopes that Jane at Inky Owl Studio used in her video, which I'll link below, were 6 by 9 inches. So these aren't far off that really. So let's move that to one side. So the first thing she did was score them. Okay, so just get the scoreboard out so that I can show you. So you're scoring the flaps, and you've got your natural flap line here, fold for your flap here. You're scoring out from there, so you're scoring the first one. You're going to put a 1/4 of an inch score line from this line here up out here. So we're going to put a 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to line it up with an inch mark, and then I'm going to score that at a 1/4 of an inch like so. So what I'll do is I will ink those so you can see what I've done. So I'm just going to fold over that score like so and give that a burnish. So just loosely ink down there so you can see that, and then you can see the natural fold which is there. So now you can see those two. So that's one small spine. So then put that to one side, take your second envelope, and then you're going to again take your natural flap fold, which is this here, and you're going to score. So I'm going to put it at the inch mark, and you're going to score that one at 3/8 of an inch. So we have got 3/8 of an inch is there. Okay, so scoring that down gently, don't want to rip the paper. Just going to fold that over on the score line, and I'm going to burnish that, and I'm just going to run my dauber down there so that you can see that is making that spine there. and that spine, as you can see when you put the two together, is wider than the original, obviously, right? So put those away for a minute, and then you take the last envelope, and again I'm just going to run the dobber down the natural fold of the flap, like so, line it up against an inch mark, and from that line out I'm going to score 1/2 inch. So there's my 1/2 inch mark. So that's going to be the widest spine, like so. Okay. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to do it too quickly. I don't want to make a long video. We all know that I can. So now you've got your 3 spines going up in size. Put them in size order. Okay, so you've got your 1/4 inch here, your 3/8 inch, and you've got your 1/2 inch there. Okay, so then what you're doing is you're going to, if you had triangular flaps at this point, Jane, she did use triangular flaps, so she more or less cut hers off, cut that flap off. So imagine that was triangular flap, cut it off about there, okay, because you don't want too much bulk and it just gets in the way. Okay, right, so I think from the score line that I've just made, if you had a triangular flap, Jane cut hers about 1 3/4 inches from that line out here and then cut those off. Okay, I've got some notes, because we all know I can't remember everything I've seen on a video. I have to write notes down and hope that I can understand them when I come to them. So then the next thing we're going to do is we would glue the envelopes together. So we'd take the 1/2 inch scored envelope, which is this one, okay, the 1/2 inch one, and we will have the flap to the left, so on this side here, and we will and it has the pocket side up, so pocket side up facing me and flap to the left. And then you're going to take the 3/8 inch spine, which is this one here, and you're going to lay it the same way as the 1/2 inch here, like so, with the flap this to the left and the pocket side up. And then we're going to glue this one to this one, like so. Okay, so what I'll do is take this off, because these envelopes have got this seal on them, and I'm just going to use my Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to glue all along this, hope you can see this, just along this flap here, okay, to the score line that I made. And then I'm going to take this envelope, and I have to turn them around so I can glue, and I'm going to position the bottom of this envelope, the 1/2 inch spined envelope, the bottom of it to that flap there, turn it over, give it a press down. Okay, so again they're facing left to my left, and they're both facing up, so you've got your pocket on the upside. Okay, so that's that done. Okay, so then we're going to take and glue the first one to the second. So then the 1/4 inch envelope we're gluing to the end of the second envelope, right? So we got 1/4 inch, we're going to glue it to this one, but we're going to turn it over. So we're having it, it's going to be, flap is going to be glued under this one, but it's going to be face down. Okay, so the flap's still going to the left, but it's turned over. Okay, so let me show you here. in camera. So all I've done is, instead of having it up the same way as those, I've just literally flipped it over like that, and that is going to be glued to that. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I'm gluing, am I gluing the top? I'm gluing the bottom underneath. I'm going to glue mine onto this one like so. Yes. So again, I'm just going to take some Fabri-Tac and just loosely glue that down. And this time you're only gluing the flap of this one, okay, to the flap line, the original flap crease there, not your crease that you made, just to that one, making sure you've lined them up. Okay, like so. So you want them lined up, and that's to there, so that it can still flap over. So there, let me just put this lid on. So there you have, this is going to be your flap closure. There you have your the start of your journal, like so. And then what you do is you take whatever papers you're going to cover yours with. I'm using the Edith Holden book pages, which are quite thick, but if you're using anything else, I suggest you use something that's quite thick. So I'd say at least 160 GSM, or between 120 and 160-ish. I mean, the book pages are quite thick. Here's a page here, and it is thick. Okay, so I'd say this is about 130, maybe. I'm not really sure. Not very good at weights of paper, but that's how I made this one. So as you can see, this is the flap here, so this will be your flap here. So what you want to do is just re-burnish your spine so that it's going to go around that way. So you've got your flap going over there, so it's going to look like that. Okay, so that's your biggest spine here, the 1/2 inch. That's your 3/8 of an inch, and then inside here you've got your 1/4 of an inch, and that's how you do it. I hope that makes sense. But from then on, all you're doing after that is deciding where you want to put things. So if you want some extra envelopes in, what you want to do, I'll just get some to show you, is, let me find some here. I don't have many envelopes. I have a very varied selection. So say we wanted to put this envelope in, because this is wide enough to take it, we would want to glue that flap down. We would want to glue the flap in like this, or like this, whichever way round you wanted it, before you matted this. So you're going to essentially glue your mat over the top, and when you put the mat down, you don't want your mat to come from there to there. You want your mat, so you want this as a pocket, so the mat will be this size. And then you could say, well, I'll have that as a flip out, and have that as an extra pocket, or I can have it round this way and have it as an extra pocket that way, whichever way suits you. Or you could have it as a top flip, so you could glue it there like that, and then it would come down like that, and you could flip it up and you've got a pocket up there. Or if you didn't want the pocket up there, you could make a hinge for it, and all you could need to do for a hinge is take a piece of card, say for instance we took this piece of card here, and you just make it the length of your envelope, so there, and then you'd burnish that, not burnish, you'd score that halfway in the middle, down the middle, fold that over. So say you wanted to glue that down, and then you could fold that round, and one piece is glued there, and then the other piece, other half, is glued to the envelope, so that you'd have a flap, and then you could just, you know, cut the side off, a slither off either side to make a side pocket. So it's entirely up to you how you put your envelopes down, but that's just one example really of what you can do. And you can put envelopes, add them in wherever you want to on any of these. The world's your oyster, so the design is entirely up to you. So I hope that kind of helps. So I'm just going to put the scoreboard away. So now I've made another folder ready for another one, which I will probably tea stain because this is very white, but that's going to come in handy for another time. So this is the one I've made for winter, and we're going to make the ephemera. Now I have started putting together one for spring, which will be the next one. Now the spring one, I'm going to use 4 envelopes. So these envelopes are cream coloured, and these are 5 6/8 of an inch wide and 7 1/4 inches tall. So in centimetres that would be 18.5 centimetres tall by approximately 13.5 centimetres wide, if that helps anybody out there. Now I haven't seen any videos for 4. There probably must be some out there, I just haven't looked, to be honest. Sometimes I can spend too much time overthinking what I want to do, and I don't actually then give myself time to just think about it myself and just come up with some idea. So this has probably been done. So I decided that I would try and do 4. So I've got them paper clipped together at the moment, just so that I can remember where I've put them. But essentially they're all the same size, and I have written on them the flat numbers because I've already taken all the papers and cut them to size for what I want to put in this for the spring. So these are all the same size, as I say. The only difference is I've taken 2 of them and I've scored them from the flap line up. I've scored them at 1 centimetre, or in inches that is just under, it's actually 1/2 inch. That one's just under for some reason, I don't know why. That's my bad measurement, I think. Yeah, so I'm just going to rescore that one because I want them to be the same. So I'm literally doing it on my desk. You know, if you don't have a scoreboard, you can make it happen without one, you know. So all you do is just get your ruler against the line that you've just scored and rescore it. So I'm rescoring it there, and then I will burnish it down. So anyway, we'll do that afterwards. But I've just taken my dauber and gone down those edges so that you can see where I've scored. So I've taken both of them, scored them at the same. This one I decided can slot into this one and be glued in, and then I'm going to line up the 2 spines, the score marks, like so. So I've lined them up like that, okay, and then I will glue that into there like so. So we can do that actually. so let's do that. Let's glue that one down. So we'll put the bare bones of this second one together, ready to start matting it in another episode. So I want to try and have one ready for ephemera to be made. So at the moment we've got the winter one ready, and then I want to so you don't want to glue that envelope right up to the line, so that you want to make sure you've lined it up. Now because this is, I'm going to keep the flaps, I've decided, so I'm just going to keep the flaps as they are, so it's entirely up to you. So we're just gluing this. Hopefully this is going to work when it's put together. This is completely off the cuff, really. And then I'm going to glue this flap in here. Yeah, I'm going to keep the flap. So I just want to line that up. I think what the problem is, I made that new score line and I didn't ink it, so I can't quite see it. So I'm just lining that up there, like so. Now I'm going to unglue it because I'm not happy with it. So let me just rescore that on the scoreboard. I'll bring down the small scoreboard because it's easier. So I wanted mine at 1/2 inch, and I don't know why that one didn't come out as 1/2 inch. Just be careful when you're constantly scoring these, because, and I'm just going to go along with that dauber on that new, so you don't want to tear them. And I think these are quite thick envelopes, so that's, you know, why I've picked them. I've just gone through my stash basically, and so leave that one to one side, otherwise I'm going to get into a pickle. Right, this is the one I want. So this one, yeah, that's going to be on the back of that one. Right, I have to make sure I remember. Okay, so re-glue it. It's a good thing about Fabri-Tac, it gives you a bit of movement, I find. So this score line here is going up to this one, and I want to line them up. Now the style of these envelopes is such that they stick out either side here and here, but you know that you'll find that with a lot of envelopes. Okay, so that's that one. Now we want to glue this one. Let's just make sure that's all down. We want to glue this flap inside here, so it's giving it some stability on that spine. So I will strengthen the spine, because so it literally just goes in there like that, and in theory that should all be lined up, which it is. So while it's wet, I'm just re-burnishing it gently like so. Okay, so that's that. Okay, right, so the other two then I decided I wanted round the other way, so I kind of want them flapping that way. Otherwise, if I have them like that, I'm going to have all the same kind of pockets, if you know what I mean, inside, all the same way. So this, I am going to now cut these flaps down. Okay, so this is what I was trying to explain to you on the other one. So I am going to literally measure. I'm only going to measure 1 inch from mine, because that's enough for me to be able to glue down these flaps. So I'm just going to keep them together like so and cut those off. Might be able to make something with that, might be able to double it up, make a side tuck or pocket. You never know. We never waste anything, do we? Okay, so I want that flap now to be glued to that. So you see where I've cut it, it perfectly fits along there. So I'm going to glue that down the other way. So hopefully this is going to work, but it's all about experimenting, isn't it? You know, so I want my lines to match up like so, and hold it up this way, and then you can marry them up that way and give that a squeeze down. So that's our outer flap there. Don't forget we're matting all these, so that won't show. So this one is going to be my front. That's my front, okay, and this is going to be an inner flap here. So this one is going to be glued like so. So I'm just checking that before I glue it down, so it will. So I'm just going to take a pin, paper clip, and I just want to fold it up. So essentially what I've got is 2 flaps that come down like that, then it shuts together like that, and that's my front and that's my back. Okay, so I want this flap glued onto this one here. So then I have got 2 blanks, 2 flaps, you know, 2 pockets, turn it over, 2 pockets. Okay, that's how I want them. I mean, if I wanted to, no, I don't want to. I want to keep with what I decided to do. So that is how I'm having them. So I'm going to glue that one down, and then we'll be ready in the next episode to start matting them. Okay, and I'm using the Fabri-Tac because it gives you some wiggle room, and also it doesn't dry as quickly, I've found, as quite as quickly as the Cosmic Shimmer, and that's the only other glue apart from glue stick that I seem to have at the moment. That I have got some PVA glue, I think it's called. Don't really like it, find it too wet. I'm not too keen on the wet glues, so I did buy and last year used what's that other wet glue called? Something beginning with col. I can't remember, and I didn't actually get on with that either. I found it too. So there we have our, this is our second folio, different design to the winter one, as you can see, totally different design, and it's 4 envelopes, and so it's going to open like that. And what I will do before I mat the front and mat the back is we'll put our closure, I think, underneath here. So we can either have a closure glued down underneath the top front mat and the back mat, and so have it coming out like this, or we can put eyelets in here and in here, but that could be tricky because we've got a fold. So I think we'll glue it here and here. and I haven't decided what I'm going to use. Now the next thing I want to do before I finish this video quickly is I want to strengthen the spine. So I could use some I've got this wide tape. I could use some washi tape, but I don't really have any that is wide enough, like, to come to here, that isn't highly decorative. So I thought we could just use this, and then over the top we'll put some material. So I think that's I'm going to go with that. So I'm just going to cut that end off, padded. Hopefully haven't been too long. So cut this end. I'm just going to gauge a bit for the length. I hate using sticky tape. I get it all everywhere. Okay, so now this is going to be tricky because I want to lift up the top flaps of this envelope, and I just want to pop it in. So, you know, some people use Tyvek. I don't actually have any of that. This could be something I might do off camera. I think I might have to look all through my washi. Okay, let's forget that. So we're going to put some tape down here. We're going to put some tape down here on the spine on the back. And then after we've done that, and I've already cut out some pieces of just some linen here. It's just a piece of cotton linen. I think it was an old cotton pillowcase or sheet or something like that, and we're going to glue that on the top of the tape. Whatever tape I decide to put on, I'm going to glue that there. Obviously it's not going to come out here, it's going to go inside, so it will go in like this, like so. And this is to strengthen the spine, and it will be cut off there and go in there, and it will be glued down, and the same on the back, it will be glued across there like so. So I'll do that off camera, and then the next time I see you, that will be done, and we will start matting. So I've already cut out things, got envelopes in of things out, just the bare basics, okay, for spring Edith Holden. So I hope you will join me in this series. I'm really looking forward to doing it. I do like the Edith Holden book. I like the designs. I love the florals and everything. And I love the colour of the pages, and her handwriting is beautiful. It's quite sad actually. So I was reading about her, and she actually died by such a talented lady for her time. And remember, women didn't really, they weren't really recognised for many things at that time. But she actually drowned in a, I don't know if it was a lake or a river in Kew, and that's how she died. And she wasn't really old when she passed away. I mean, I'm sure she had many more years in her of creativity, and it's very sad that somebody so talented could meet their end that way. But I guess in those days, we probably weren't encouraged to learn to swim like we are these days. I think even most children learn basic swimming at school, and bear in mind the sort of clothes she would have been wearing in the 1900s, early 1900s, probably would have bore her right down. And I think it's quite sad actually. She was so talented, so very talented. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye for today, and join me again as we embark on this journey of Edith Holden, The Four Seasons. Bye bye.